Okay, so I intentionally didn't edit this video or try to make it aesthetically pleasing or whatever because A, I don't have the skills to do that, and B, I also realized that we love a good old like sit down chat. Listen, I'm just gonna spend a few minutes talking about passion and dreams and hopes and visions and drive and ambition. So I hope you can spend a few minutes with me. And if you're worried about wasting your time just watching my face and hearing me ramble on for a couple of minutes, you can play this in the background and listen to it. Okay, please do that. But I invite you to be a part of this conversation and to be a part of this fellowship. So my last YouTube video was uploaded a couple months ago, and I think it was the creative photo shoot slash collaboration I did with my friend, and that was really fun. And I intended to do more of those, but school got in the way, work got in the way. I'm still doing creative things, especially for school, like here and there, but not as much as I want to. I've just been like out of it creatively, artistically, and in general. Like actually the past 2 years I've been completely out of it, but more so the last year for different reasons. But in the last few months, I've started reclaiming a sense of my identity and my purpose. I've just been studying and learning and meditating and doing a lot of like exploring and searching and I don't know why that sounded so funny to me. I'm sorry. I don't. It's part of the journey. Oh, can you tell? Can you tell I have not done this in a while? Anyway, if you watch my videos or follow me on social media, I assume that you know quite a fair bit about me already because you're already in my life. But I graduated from Hillsong College in the middle of a pandemic last July. It's been almost a year now, which is crazy. It doesn't feel that long. Yeah, so here we are, Hillsong College alumni, pursuing life in all its glory. Okay, so back in 2015-16, when I knew that I was called to come to Hillsong College, I knew I was coming here for a minimum of 3 years, right? Because I wanted to do all 3 years of college, and I got here and I got fully immersed in the world as you do. And I'm very grateful that a huge chunk of my college experience was very positive and very engaging, and I learned a lot. And I'm grateful for that. But you can kind of get wrapped up in the life of college and church, and it's really hard to see life beyond that because you're constantly in the middle of serving, doing assessments, going to classes, going to chapel, and a lot of other stuff as well. And so I kind of got stuck in that, and I didn't really realize what life was going to look like beyond these 3 years. But it was early on in my journey. So 2018, beginning of 2018, I had just finished one semester of Hillsong College. I was in the middle of my summer break, and I just realized that I actually am called into the world of art, creativity, and leadership, but not just in the church. Up until then, I was doing a lot of ministry within the church with Christians, but I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, the reason why I do this, the reason why I learn this is so that I can be prepared to actually step out and minister to people outside and engage with artists and creatives outside the church, because there's so much to learn from the world as well. So that's when I threw myself into all things creative. So I started going to acting workshops, I started going to dance workshops. I started doing, I was already doing music because I was in the worship music stream, but in the middle of 2018, I switched to the songwriting stream. So basically switching majors. And that in itself threw me on a whole new creative journey and brought out a very different artistic side of me that I didn't know existed, which was amazing. It was hard but amazing. And I also started taking drawing and writing very seriously, and I just started getting introduced to new creative spaces and people, and there was so much growth and favor in that. And that's when I realized that I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually what I'm meant to do with the rest of my life. Mind you, I was already 25 by then, and looking around people, so many people had already settled in life. They were married, some people had kids by then, some people careers were taking off, and I was just starting my college journey, just rediscovering new things. um, But even so, I was still part of Hillsong College. And while I love what I learned in Hillsong College, it's very, very church and ministry focused. That's their goal. And so I knew that after my time in Hillsong College, I had to pursue art and creativity, performing arts, whatever it is, outside of the church setting. Coming back to December 2019 and January 2020, like I'm just jumping all over the timeline, but be with me. I actually, because I was nearing the end of my Hillsong College journey, I was preparing to move to another country, to another school, to pursue performing arts and theater, because I knew in my heart of hearts, in my heart, I had already made up the decision, and I knew that I was going to do that. But we all know what happened. The pandemic happened in March, and the world shut down. And I genuinely thought my story, my testimony was going to be one where, in the middle of a pandemic, when the world was ravaged by so much evil, God took me and brought me to the place where I knew I was supposed to be, and He provided for me, and He just gave me so much blessing and all of that good stuff. But I quickly realized that I am not the main character. Not everything is about me. God has much more to do in this world than to just, cater to my whimsies. And don't get me wrong, I know He plants those dreams and ambitions in our hearts, and He provides and makes a way to fulfill the calling that He's placed on our lives. But read the room, understand the season. And I just had to understand that it's not the time to move. I just need to be where I am. I need to stay planted where I am, and I need to be faithful in that. And also, Australia, in comparison to the rest of the world at that time, was doing really well. I was still able to work and provide for myself, and just all that great stuff. So my plan C actually became my plan A, and I ended up scrambling and looking for schools, and finally enrolled into the Australian Institute of Music to pursue my bachelor's in music theater. Music theater has always been a dream and passion of mine. Like I didn't normally share with people growing up, but it just combined every element of what I love, like singing, acting, dancing, music, writing, directing, producing, set design, costume design, like every artistic element that I passionately loved, you could find in music theater. And while the industry in itself is very specific, and I know it's not as mainstream and as big as people, or at least I would love it to be, the people there in the industry are so talented and so hardworking. And even my classmates and teachers, like I am always floored every time I walk into class and see people perform, and when we do stuff in class, and it's very, very inspiring. But the way things worked out, the way finances came through, the way my visa came through again, and everything was just miraculous. And I'm very, very grateful to God, first of all, for just providing everything, and for my parents and siblings who just they literally are my world. I would not know how to do what I'm doing and pursue the call of God without them. God just ministers to me so much through them. And also a few very special supportive friends who kept me grounded, and who kept me strong. All this to say, like I'm turning 28 tomorrow, and I I don't know why that felt so funny to say, but I just wanted to make this quick video and say, don't give up on your dreams, don't give up on your hopes and your ambitions and your calling, and don't give up on what you think God has called you to do and placed in your life. You might be working another job, you might be doing something else that's very different from what you feel you're called to do, but don't give up on it. These are the things that keep you alive and keep you going and will inspire people. So keep going strong. I'm actually so aware that to be able to chase your dreams and to go after what is in your heart is actually such a privilege, and I acknowledge that. Like I'm very, very blessed and fortunate to be able to do what I feel and know I'm called to do. And I really hope that, 5-10 years down the line, finding success in what I've pursued, and I will be able to create opportunities for other people to do the same, because that's something that I'm very passionate about, especially for young people in Nagaland who are so talented and who deserve so much more than what we have. But all that to say, if you're not content, happy, or satisfied with where you are in life, and if you know that there's so much more to your life, engage with those thoughts, look those challenges and those thoughts in the eye, and just go with it, and be honest with yourself, and go for it. What do we have to lose anyway, right? Like the other day, I was reading and meditating, and I was thinking about turning 28, which actually for me 28 is pretty young. The only problem is people who are younger than me think 28 is really old, and people who are older than me think that 28 is really young, and the only person who doesn't really care is me. Yeah, but I told myself that, you know what, every time I turn a year older, I'm going to convince myself that I'm actually 10 years younger, so that way I can approach life with the zeal, passion, and ambition, and excitement and wonder of someone who's 10 years younger than I am. But I also approach life with maturity, with the experience that I have, and stability, and wisdom that I've gained over the years, right? So I'm convinced, and I've told myself I'm actually turning 18 tomorrow, but with the spiritual maturity of a 28-year-old or an 80-year-old, just depending on my mood. But that being said, I really hope we don't stop chasing after our passions and our dreams, even in this pandemic, even when the world has stopped. I hope we continue to dream. I hope we continue to hope for a better future, for a better life. And I hope that I can be consistent in making videos, finally. And with confidence and the blessing of the Lord and my personal best, go for it. Because if I can, you can. Okay. Let me end with this quote. No one else is going to live life the way... What? No, that's not it. Okay, let's try that again. No one else is going to live your calling the way you can. If you... Okay, one more time. No one else is going to live your calling for you. And no one can do it better than you can. So do it. Do it now. Yeah.